So here are the facts and figures for you. A bit of debate about James' age. Bonecrusher Smith, that is, given as 36. Some people feel he's only 35. Well, Bonecrusher says he's going to be born again in the fighting world after this one. Must admit, I felt after making all that money going in against Mike Tyson, he might go away and retire gracefully. He's talking about taking up politics, but he's obviously got the bug of the fighting game, and he's in against a very useful fellow, Razor Ruddock, Canadian champion. Well over a stone lighter. And highly ranked by all three boxing organisations is Razor Ruddock. And we all know Bonecrusher, the man who took out Frank Bruno at Wembley 5 years ago. Gave Larry Holmes a very tough battle as well. Lasted the full distance with Tyson, as I say. And has the ability to take anybody out if he lands with either hand. Razor Ruddock, very elusive sort of fighter, slippery. Certainly in this opening round he's making Bonecrusher do all the work. He's doing a little bit of posing as well, is Ruddock. And of course Bonecrusher fighting here at the Cumberland County Civic Centre in Fayetteville has got all his fans behind him. Very much the hometown boy, in fact co-promoting this bill. Ruddock just annoying Bonecrusher by holding that left glove in his face. It's a dangerous thing to do, though, with a puncher of Smith's power. Referee in there, Tony Perez, respected official from New York. These earlies, that's just a slip, I think, for Bonecrusher. There'll be no count there. In these early stages, I was going to say, it's easy to see why Bonecrusher has to have such a good chin, because his defense is really non-existent. Just looking a bit frustrated there was Smith with the antics of Ruddock, who has a tendency to annoy and frustrate and get under the skin of his opponents. And he's done that in this opening round, and that's probably the best punch he's thrown. Ruddock, that is, in the last few seconds. Now then, in Bonecrusher Smith's corner is Joe Frazier. Bonecrusher holds a victory over his son Marvis, and I think we're going to be able to hear the instructions he's getting from Joe Frazier.
Wait on him too long. I don't want you waiting on him at all. Don't wait on him to make the decision. You make all the decisions from there. Don't pull back. Don't play with him. Keep him down to business at all times. Down there and head down. Use that jab short. The minute he goes out there and try to act like he's playing possum, go to work on him, you understand? Okay. Keep that head down. Okay. Bring that head down. Move. How you feel? Looking good. Looking good.
What should we be doing? More jabs?
More jabs. More jabs. More hooks. Level. Don't overstep that left leg. You look very good. Okay? How you feel? Get close to my punch. Big one. Big good one. All right? Yeah. Don't fight yourself right now. Just move on him. Okay. Make him do. When he do something, beat him there. Don't stop in front of him. Okay. You got to get him off. You understand? Get down. Watch it. Watch it. Get down. Get him down.
Second round then, Bonecrusher. I remember seeing him on a amazingly dramatic night at Madison Square Garden when he came in as a late substitute for Tony Tubbs to fight Tim Witherspoon and took the world title from Witherspoon in just over 2 minutes of the first round. A brief reign, just 85 days, one of the shortest in boxing history, Bonecrusher, before he lost the title to Mike Tyson 2.5 years ago. Although this might be a quiet start, Bonecrusher has the punching power to take anybody out, and he's delivered it there. A big right, and Ruddock, although he grins on the way up, had his feet literally whipped from underneath him. So Ruddock pays for his fooling, and can Bonecrusher finish it here in the second? The crowd are on their feet, they're all behind their man. In his mid-30s he might be, but he's still got some dig in that right hand. And he whipped the carpet from underneath Ruddock's legs. Ruddock won't mess about now, that's for sure. And can Bonecrusher pull off what would be a big surprise in his hometown, because Ruddock has his eyes on higher things, and a defeat to Bonecrusher Smith would effectively stop his career in its tracks. The head went in from Bonecrusher. There are doubts about his stamina, always has been, so it'd be in his interest to try and finish it here if he could. But those long arms of Ruddock, originally from Jamaica, have gained invaluable breathing seconds to clear his head, and he's shaking and chatting to the crowd saying, I wasn't hurt by that, but he definitely was. But unlike one or two of his other opponents, it looks as though Ruddock has got the boxing guile and the sense to get up and fight on. A few years back, when those legs were a trifle stronger, Bonecrusher might have had the firepower to follow up that knockdown. Instead, he's ending this round very much on the defences. On the defensive as Ruddock switches gear and piles in some very useful armouring indeed, and it's Smith backing away on the ropes and getting hurt. What a round. Bonecrusher Smith had Ruddock in big trouble early on, and he's ending up with his arms draped round the Canadian's waist. And Ruddock, very much the away fighter, of course, says, I'm still very much in this fight, as his trainer Janks Morton drags him back to his corner. Morton used to look after Sugar Ray Leonard, and he's going to have to blow very strongly into his man's ears now. And this is the reason. The right came over and the legs buckled. But credit to Razor Ruddock for the way he recovered from that and came back fiercely at the end. Pick it up for me was the advice Razor Ruddock received from his trainer Janks Morton after being shocked in that second round by the punching power of Bonecrusher, who got that nickname, by the way, because he used to break noses, ribs and jaws as an amateur. Started boxing in the army after he went to university. Did Bonecrusher, the only graduate to hold the world heavyweight title, and now we're just wondering if he's still got the power and the stamina to build on what he did early in the second round. Never been a great combination puncher, Bonecrusher Smith. He's always been more of a one-hit wonder. And Ruddock's come back very well. But I feel sure that until he gains complete control of the fight, if he does, as we see a picture of Joe Frazier trying to urge Bonecrusher forward. Until he gains complete control, we'll see no more fooling from Ruddock. Came over, incidentally, to England, had just one fight in London 3 years ago. Late substitute on a Frank Warren bill. He came over from Canada, had just about an hour's sleep, and went on to knock out Johnny Westgarth in 7 at the Alexander Pavilion. And it was a couple of months after that he made his big breakthrough with a 10 rounds point verdict over Mike Weaver. Hasn't fought too many big names, so this is an important fight for him. And you can see why some of the highly rated fighters have steered clear of Ruddock. because he's quick, slippery, and has good powers of recovery too. Frustrating round this one for Smith. Just hasn't been able to establish his personality the way he would have liked. And as Ruddock scores continually with that left hand, he's probably done enough to take it. Ruddock must always be wary of Smith's power.
You going the same speed he's going. Tick-tock. You understand? How you feel? How you feel? Tick-tock.
Take a drink.
No, I don't want to drink. Tick-tock, all right? Tick-tock. Get a little close, head down. You pull him back up. Quit pulling out, you understand?
Go to the
you
body.
got him under control, right?
Go to the body.
Going like you've been going the first time. Pick up the speed. You understand? You pick up that speed some for me. You gotta pick that speed up. Go back to the first, like, go back to the first round. Bing, bing, bing.
Where you put him on, man?
That's it. All right, now.
Well, it's nice to have somebody like Joe Frazier in your corner, but just watching them at work over a couple of rounds, I'm none too impressed with the advice that Bonecrusher Smith is getting there, and indeed a substance rubbed in his eye that he wasn't altogether aware of. Looks slightly amateurish to me. But no matter what they say, it's all down to Bonecrusher Smith in the end and what he does out here in this fourth round. Looking very flat-footed now, Smith, and goodness me, that was a jolting right hand that came in from Ruddock. His best punch, definitely. Little short right, and it absolutely stopped Smith dead. And Ruddock that just seems to be growing in confidence now. Doing that peekaboo style. I remember Don Curry did that with great effect against Colin Jones when he fought at Birmingham over here. Eyeball to eyeball, almost defying Bonecrusher Smith to hit him, and then really cutting through those non-existent defences. And this is a hard round for Bonecrusher Smith, and he's in big trouble on those far ropes. He's trying to pull his head and face away, and that's always a dangerous sign. Midway through the fourth, wiping that right eye, he's got problems there. Bonecrusher Smith, such a brave guy though, always comes back throwing punches, but he's just taking a few too many for my liking at the moment. And again, Ruddock dangles the left in front of him, and then 4 or 5 right hands just come through as Bonecrusher's shaven head gets jolted back. He'll do well to stay on his feet in this round. But remember how he survived the full distance against Mike Tyson, holding and pulling him in close. And he's going to have to dig on those survival powers again. Looks to me as though it's going to be the accumulation of the punches from Ruddock rather than one single shot that will decide this fight. Ticking away towards the end of the fourth. Ruddock, the Canadian champion, effectively taking over now on desperate moments for Smith. Well, can you believe it? They haven't even got his stool ready.
You got this man under control. Now you're letting him get away from you. You're letting this man get away from you. Wake up some. You understand? You're letting this man get away from you, Bone. You got him under control. Deal with him. This only the fourth, fifth round. You got to deal with him. How you feel? Take a couple of them. Come on. Come on, breathe him. Breathe him. Pick him up. Come on, breathe him. Come on. All right, now you got the man. You're overstepping the legs. Get the hands up and throw it. Head down. You understand? Bring the head down, Bone. Please. You got the man under control. He's dead as much as you. A deader. Now make him go back faster than he want to go.
Use that left jab
you know
a little bit. Use the left jab a little bit and then drop the right hand.
Place your home down. Place your home down. Think about it. Let's get him done.
As they come out for the fifth round, Bonecrusher Smith had a real moment of joy in the second when he had Razor Ruddock down, but since then Ruddock has really taken control, and we've been hearing in the corner Joe Frazier telling James Bonecrusher Smith, you've got this man under control. Well, with great respect to Joe, all I can say he's seeing a different fight from that corner, because Bonecrusher Smith's pitiful defence really is just being sliced apart by Ruddock, and he's beginning to look a bit of an old and weary fighter now, and I hate to see that. Ruddock almost toying with him, but of course don't forget Bonecrusher has the power, and with one shot could totally change the complexion of this fight. Ruddock hasn't been the easiest of fighters to handle. He began his professional career under the management of the former heavyweight George Chuvalo, and he's had goodness knows how many since then. But you can see that when it comes down to it, there's a lot of ability if it could only be harnessed in the right direction. There's still been perhaps too much showboating and Mickey taking in this fight. But Ruddock is keeping the crowd here, Cumberland County Civic Center in North Carolina, Fayetteville, pretty subdued. And again testing Smith's chin. It's an interesting shot from the Rocky camera, and indeed we're going to need a comeback of Rocky proportions from Bonecrusher, and he's got a bit of joy there in the last minute of the fifth. Got through to Ruddock and hurt him. Ruddock just to see the arm cupped round the back of Smith's head, pulling him on. And Smith just hasn't got the legs and the stamina to follow up those single shots, but that might encourage him his work towards the end of this fifth round. It's been a better round for him, and he's still got something left. He won't want to disappoint his neighbours, friends and fans here in Fayetteville. Well, that was the shot from Bonecrusher that had them all out of their seats. Just couldn't follow it up, though.
You want me to fight him for you? You want him?
You can do it.
All right, let's go.
Come on, you can do it.
You look good.
You can do
The
it.
head gotta come
Take your
down,
time and
and you
work
pull
with
it
it.
back. Put the weight on that left leg. You got me? Put the weight on the left leg. Tick, 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 tock. Put the weight on the left leg. You understand? You got me? Bone. You understand what I'm saying? Put the weight. This is your hometown.
Work with him, Crusher. Work with him.
This is your hometown.
Put your body punches
You got
together.
him. Put him together. Snap him down.
Round 6. It's a weary James Bonecrusher Smith. His first fight for just about a year. Who comes out to face Razor Ruddock. Ruddock down early in the second, but he's come back so well from that. And must be building a substantial points lead. Bonecrusher a bit of puffy below the right eye, showing no signs of getting cut in that last fight. By the way, Bonecrusher Smith, he got a cut in the second against a fighter called Michael Rouse, and it was ruled a technical draw, that one. He might not be cut, but he's looking a slightly demoralised, weary sort of fighter, Smith. And he's going to really have to pull something out of the fire now as the Canadian grows in arrogance and confidence and peppers out the left hand. Only one defeat, in fact, on Ruddock's card 4 years ago. He was stopped in the 8th against a fighter called David Jaco. And that was after he had an attack of asthma and had to take nearly a year off to get over that. Just the one blemish on his record. Quietest round probably so far, the 6th round. Just one opening will do for Smith. While Ruddock continues to annoy and frustrate and just occasionally hold the left hand, almost rubbing his nose in it and then flicking it out with a point-scoring twist at the end. Tried to end it with a big uppercut there. And there's a slip from Ruddock. Just a slip. No count. Referee Tony Perez in very smartly and telling him to get on with it. Bonecrusher could probably have done with a bit of a breather there, I'd have thought. Well, there's a big roar from the crowd as whenever Bonecrusher Smith throws a punch in anger, that one was harmless. Pace has dropped. Bonecrusher's, that is. Looking towards his corner for a bit of inspiration as we come to the end of the 6th. I think we're going to go over to Razor Ruddock's corner. Indeed we are, and here trainer Jax Morton. Well, they're urging him to concentrate. His eyes seem to me just a flicker towards the rounds goal there, though. Probably why they sprayed all that water in his face. So just to confirm those orders, go to the body and then give him a left hook. We're into the 7th round. Canadian champion Razor Ruddock building up a substantial points advantage over the veteran James Bonecrusher Smith, who had him down early in the second but hasn't been able to capitalize on that. And since then it really has been one-way traffic in the Canadians' favor. Bonecrusher, to me, looked as though he thought some punches were coming there and almost flinched before they arrived. And those are big punches coming in and not much coming back from Bonecrusher now. And this really looks as though things could be coming to some sort of conclusion. I think Bonecrusher's had enough now, to be quite honest. I wouldn't be too unhappy to see Tony Perez step in. He's looking very weary. This looks to be one fight too far for him. And the hope and chance of a single punch to swing it round would seem to be evaporating, and it's just a question of how much punishment is he going to be allowed to take. Ruddock hasn't really followed that up. Just look at a weary, aging fighter in Bonecrusher Smith. Look at him from upstairs, if you like. Sure, we'll get back down to the normal angle soon. But from wherever angle you look at it, the pattern of the fight is still very much in Ruddock's favour. Perez took a long look at Bonecrusher Smith there. He nearly swung himself off his feet, he's so weary, midway through the 7th. His legs are betraying him a bit too. And he's breathing in very heavily, has been for some rounds now. Bonecrusher Smith, there's a big right coming in that wobbled him, and another one right above us. Surely he's taken enough. The crowd around me are screaming for it to be stopped. A big left coming in, and Bonecrusher topples. That surely will be it. He's never going to recover from that. It went on too long for me. Bonecrusher Smith counted out in the 7th. Razor Ruddock wins it. He could go on and deservedly fight for world titles, could Ruddock. But sad, really, to see Bonecrusher Smith on his home ground, totally beaten and demoralised. And I really wish that, for his own safety, we don't see Bonecrusher Smith back in the ring again. But let's take nothing away from this man, Razor Ruddock. A good victory over one of the biggest name fighters that he's been in against. And it was a right that came across, and I think a left that finished it in the end. But Bonecrusher was so weary that it didn't have to be the strongest of punches. The left ripped right through the guard, and that was the end of it. Ruddock, a good knockout in the 7th.
And that is surely the end of the road there for Bonecrusher, I would think. He now fancies his chances as a big fight promoter, incidentally. Best of luck to him. But Razor Ruddock putting himself in the frame for a future tilt at Tyson. More boxing to come in a moment. Join us for that.